I got beer in my boots, dirt on my truck, corn on my mind, and a gun up my butt. It's a small town. At least there's dirt, at least there's beer and trucks and shirts.
Howdy there. You've been on the internet all day and you come across the Death of Fun podcast. Join me, Matt McKinley, and my buddies Aaron, Rob, and Tim as we bring you the latest in current events, sports, and a whole bunch of inappropriate jokes that we used to tell to each other back when we were roommates in college. And the world wasn't so lame. So kick back, crack a beer, and join us for a few laps. Unless you're gay. And even if you are, join us anyways. Welcome to the Death of Fun. The song gets me every time. It makes me feel slightly dirty that it was AI created. Like
Skynet. You like Skynet?
Yeah, like I've kind of at least somewhat bought into the multiverse or whatever the fuck we're living in now.
You know what? You know how history just has the tendencies when you're living in the moment, you overreact on things.
Mm-hmm.
Like us with AI, like it's going to turn the Skynet. Has it peaked? Has AI peaked with just putting up these ridiculous photos and making stupid songs? Is that the peak?
I don't think we've seen anything yet, honestly. Like wait till the cheap fakes are no longer a talking point, but they're like there's actual deep fakes of like Kamala Harris deep throating an eggplant or something like that. Like
and you know what? The next day Trump's put it on True Social.
Oh yeah,
even verifying.
He'll get kicked off of True Social because he's posting pornography.
Yeah. Speaking of Trump, in our lineup of to-dos, I'm watching clips of Trump at the black journalist thing that was today.
Does he got a full ear?
Huh?
Is the ear fully intact?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But like, it started off rocky. I only saw the first 10 seconds, and apparently it just goes bad from there. So, like, we may have to dive into that one too.
Once the Trump rocket takes off, there's no stopping it.
No, he just goes full boomer. You know what? Really does.
I'm not one to buy into the Trump playing 4D chess scenario, but I will say Trump does his best work when he's running from behind. When Trump's an underdog, he's like fucking Tim Tebow in the quarter, and they're only down by one score. Like that motherfucker is going to get across the goal line somehow.
Is it like what they do in racing, where with some horses you kind of ease back?
Yeah, you check them up.
That last 100 yards, then you really kick it in.
Oh yeah,
what he's doing. Okay,
I think maybe so, or at least like he's been playing it pretty coy, like really since the debate. He's been, even after he got shot, like he's still out there, but he's not making waves like he normally is.
Yeah,
I feel like
this is by the end of the streak.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. But he was really playing his cards very, very intelligently after the whole debate thing. He just kind of let Joe Biden implode on himself. And without
so what you're saying, even if it's Kamala, it's still a genius move. Because they're just baiting him now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, now
with Joe, you're right. You just shut up. Like, let him talk.
Right. Well, let's get into that here in a little bit. But trade deadline just happened in the MLB. Once again, the Rockies were a snooze fest. Like when they should have been fire sailing everyone. Like Blackman gone, McMahon gone, Diaz gone, Quantrill gone. Just unload everybody, restock, and see what you got in spring training next year.
No, you know why? Because that means high draft picks come back, and then
Right.
eventually you have to pay them.
Yeah.
Best bar in Denver.
Well, let's stay with our like later round draft picks that just somehow hang around the league for 20 years and then end up at the Rockies in their death throes, and we pay them a bunch. Let's do that.
Chris Bryant has been with us, I think, 3 or 4 seasons, and he's played 100
Like 100.
games. Was
Yeah.
170?
I don't quote me on that, but it's not many. Just about a quarter of the games available he's been in.
I don't even think does he have double digits home runs as a Rocky?
That I couldn't tell you. I know he's been awful. He was hitting like 108 or something before he got hurt the first time this year.
Oh, Marquez is on the DL again.
How long?
Neat.
For I didn't even get to see him pitch.
He did. He came off the DL, and I think he pitched a little bit, and then he went back on.
Yeah, I didn't even get to see him pitch. I knew that he was getting close, and then I've kind of dropped off the face of the earth since the All-Star game, and I've been kind of watching the trade deadline stuff, but how much goddamn money do the Dodgers have? Holy shit.
Billions.
Dude, they went out and got I hadn't even heard them mentioned in the Jack Flaherty talk, and then they go out and oh fuck. Okay. Well,
you know what? That was a smart signing by the Tigers.
Yeah.
Because he had a down year last year. They picked him up on a 1-year deal, and if they were in it, great. If not, and they traded it for I think one of them's a first round pick. So
I kind of like the AL Central, the way they've been like they're kind of a bunch for the most part. The Tigers being the one every now and then the Tigers will spend money, but for the most part they're kind of a small ball, small market type of division. And like even the White Sox, Chicago is a big city, but like I don't know what the fuck the White Sox are doing. I don't think anybody knows.
So Chris Bryant is in his 3rd year as a Rocky.
Okay.
He has 17 home runs.
Okay.
He has 30, 40, 50 to 56 RBIs.
Ooh.
And he's played in 80, 122, 122, 142, 151 games. So not even a full season.
So he's
in 3 years.
He's been on the field roughly a third of the time.
Basically.
Wasn't he supposed to be like a 30 home run, like 100 RBI type of guy?
Yeah. Well, the way they're paying him, yeah.
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 Huh.
There it is.
There
it is, the vat. Oh.
And I always kind of like Chris Bryant too. Like I've never really had anything against the guy until he just stunk it up as a Rocky. But like we knew it was going to happen. No,
fuck him. He's the one that helped him win the World Series. The year my child was born, son of a bitch.
See, I don't blame that team. That team was a fun team to watch. The Chicago fan base can all go fuck themselves, but I'm a baseball fan, and that was great goddamn baseball. That was
number one fuck you to Chicago fan. Fuck you, Rob.
And Joe Madden, fuck him too. That team won it despite Joe Madden trying to fuck it up at every single chance he got.
What's your beef against Madden?
Well, he was pulling people willy-nilly, and then all of a sudden he'd like let his closer go 3 innings or some shit like that. You're like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, or it's like, are you trying to lose this? Like, just do what you've been doing. You got the pieces, plug and play. But he was like, he was getting cute, and it almost cost him.
Oh, Joe Madden's my favorite manager now. I refused to watch that World Series because I knew. You know what? If I would have watched it, would they have lost? That's the mind fuck that's going to get me.
Probably not. It was one of those destiny years. For whatever reason, God chose to love Chicago that year.
Dude, I'm telling you.
First time in a long time, but it happened.
You, the Rockies are on that projection, bud. And
yeah.
But even the Cubs had some good teams, but I feel like the Rockies are much fewer than even the Cubs.
We're over that hump now where it's becoming a possibility that we'll not see a Rockies World Series in our lifetime.
Yeah, let's see rough estimate. What, we're 38. Let's do a conservative amount.
We'll just say 80, that's roughly
42 years,
half of our lives. We'll just say it's half over right now.
Yeah.
So we got 38 years left, and there's a very good chance that the Rockies will not win a single one of those World Series.
Let's go 40 years, okay? And so 70. Yeah, that could happen.
Aren't they adding a couple teams here in a couple of years?
No, I didn't hear that.
Maybe I'm talking out my ass, but I thought I heard that, and I was like, oh, can you imagine how much we're gonna stink if that happens? Like, we already have a hard enough time.
Oh, I know.
Combing the talent pool.
We can't choose them with 32 teams. What happens with 36?
Oh, that'd be, yeah. I don't know if that's the case or not. Like I said, I might be talking out of my ass, but feels like the talent pool's already kind of stretched thin.
I feel like we've had this exact question put to us before, but I'll put it to you again. What are the Rockies' first-round picks in the past 30 years?
Wasn't McMahon one of them?
McMahon, I don't know. Tulowitzki.
Arenado. Yeah.
All of them, like, Troy could have been a generational player if he wasn't hurt all the time.
Yeah.
But, like, easy. Well, I don't even know if Arenado was a first-round pick. Hold, please.
Yeah, I can't remember if he was or not.
He was originally a catcher, I think.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Turns out to be a generational talent at third base. Huh. I don't know. I have no faith in the Rockies doing really anything worthwhile for the foreseeable future.
Let's see. Todd Helton, 95. Jake Westbrook, 96.
Okay.
Jeff Francis.
He was good once he left the Rockies, right?
For Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah.
So they couldn't even recognize what they had.
Yeah. Who was after Westbrook?
Jeff Francis.
He was mediocre.
He was probably on any other team a 4 or 5
or like a long reliever or something like that.
Troy Tulowitzki.
Okay, he was a stud.
Then we got Jamie Wright. Let's see. But this is pathetic. Like nobody else, dude. That's like recognizable.
Yeah.
Ian Stewart. Chris Nelson.
Okay.
And these are people like we know.
Yeah. Ian Stewart had a couple of years where he was peeking his head above league average. But honestly, nothing special.
No.
For the Rockies, he was all right.
Oh, this is pathetic. This is Brandon Rogers. Kyle Freeland.
Sean Freeland, Gray. Huh? He was a first rounder.
Yep.
He's Dahl. A Denver boy, right?
Yep. He's Thomas Jefferson. Here's the kicker one. So Tyler Anderson. Remember how terrible Tyler Anderson was with the Rockies?
Yeah, didn't he like really kick ass for the Cubs or somebody?
He was. I think he was with the Dodgers. You know what his ERA? You know what they did? They put him in the bullpen. His ERA is like 1 point something.
Neat.
Tyler Matzik, another guy who sucked here, and they put him in a bullpen, and he started to rock.
Didn't he?
Man,
didn't he just get traded as well?
Yeah. Holy shit, dude. But everybody else is Jason Jennings.
Okay.
Wow, man. It's slim pickings. Point made.
Yeah, they're I'll continue to look in on the Rockies, but I'll follow the rest of the league. Like
Are they the Joe Bidens of MLB?
Kinda.
Just going around eating ice cream, shitting their pants, and smelling little kids' hair.
It's, even though you knew it was going to happen, it's still shocking how bad they are.
Right.
That's
He said, what?
That's you kind of nailed it right there. They are the Joe Biden of baseball.
Did you see the flub he had the other day? The dead on arrival.
No.
Like they were talking about the Supreme Court adjustments that he wants to make, and Johnson
which will never
said,
happen.
Yeah, Johnson said it was dead on arrival, and a reporter asked him to comment on it with the quote "dead on arrival," and Joe basically said that Johnston was dead on arrival, and then he doubled and tripled down on it.
Like, they made him step down from running for president, but he can still be president.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Hey,
everything's
Matt,
fine.
Remember, Rob's not worried.
He's not worried. And you know what? If you think this whole situation with Biden and Kamala and is kind of messy and a circus, well, guess what? You're weird. You're just plain weird.
How lame is that? Like, who? I keep on telling you, there some of the political people, how there was just a brain drain because the really good ones just didn't want to do it anymore. Because the shit ones just want to get in front of the camera. This is an example. Some political operative thought weird. Let's just plant weird in there. Let's get that younger generation. That's the hip new name.
Apparently, it was the governor from Minnesota. It was his he's the one that they're giving credit to for the weird being the main talking point. Weird is the word of the day.
It's just lame.
To be fair, JD Vance is fucking weird.
He's fucking weird.
Fucking weird. Like politically, he's kind of, I don't know. He's kind of a milquetoast, sort of MAGA, sort of like big money Republican.
He's like the redneck Romney.
He's like milquetoast with just like a splash of cinnamon in there, you know, right? Just a hint of flavor. Hint. Like
heavy
not full
mayonnaise.
He's the, if mayonnaise was a seltzer, that's JD Vance.
Fermented mayonnaise, huh?
Well, you get the essence of mayonnaise. You don't get the full mayonnaise, just the essence.
It's the 3-2 of mayonnaise.
He's the pre-cum of the MAGA movement.
He's the pre-cum of soaking of the MAGA movement.
Oh, maybe. He married an Indian woman. What's their beliefs on soaking? I'm not familiar. We need to ask Jake.
Oh,
Jake, what's your thoughts on soaking? Even better, just I'm gonna text him right now. But it'll be, Jake, what's your people's view on soaking? And there's a chance he might not answer it.
I don't know.
Good chance he will, but there is a chance that he won't.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
What $10 says he doesn't know what soaking
is. Your people's position when it comes to soaking? Boom. All right. We'll see if he responds. If he responds before the end of the show, I'll read it.
Apparently, we're the only people that know what soaking is besides Mormons.
I feel like Jake knows. I think he's savvy to the soaking.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's sent me a reel having to do with soaking before. Maybe not. I get sent those quite a bit, honestly.
Were you a bed rocker for him in college?
I could have been, I guess. I feel like if anyone was a bed rocker, well, we did have that one kid that dropped out and went on his Mormon mission.
Wait, what?
Remember, it was like I think they lived maybe not right next door to me and Rob, but like a room over. There was the trombone player in the marching band, and then there was that he was like a newly converted Mormon when we moved into the dorms, and then he ended up transferring to BYU. Or no, he left after first semester because he went on his mission.
Damn, dude, I must have drank myself silly that first semester because I
forget that guy's name. But yeah, it was kind of a strange one because you don't, well, at least not since like the 1850s, you don't hear a whole lot about like 18, 19-year-old men suddenly converting to Mormonism, you know?
On that topic, I would think of yourself at that age. If I'm in there, there's no way I'm getting stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, unless she says no. But if she's into it, like I'm going, the soaking's ending.
Yeah.
A lot of self-restraint.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So if he had grown up in the Mormon church, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal for him, you know, going to school for a semester and then going off to on mission and not having to worry about the ladies. I don't think that would have been a big deal if you would have grown up in the Mormon church. But I don't think he had like a particularly religious background. And then went to college,
you see it.
And then like converted mid-semester, and then by the end of the semester he was off to Samoa or wherever the hell they were. They were sending.
You know what turned him? I mean, I loved all the ladies on our floor, and the dudes, but there was some craziness on that floor. Remember Krista?
Yeah.
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 There's some craziness on that floor. And then Dan the hippie and Bill.
Jake asked if I thought he was Mormon.
Oh, Jacob. You were a bed rocker during college, weren't you?
I might have been. Bed rocker never tells.
So is it a big no-no if you're a bed rocker to jerk off while it's happening? Is that a big no-no?
I would think so. I mean, one would have to think. I don't think the yanking it's really kosher with the Mormons.
No.
I don't think so. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine not. I would think they're along the line of like the Orthodox Jews, where like you don't jerk off because that's wasting your seed. Like you gotta plant that seed.
Don't jerk off when you can dig a tunnel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why water the plants when you can dig under them?
Right. Is that the name of the episode?
It could be. It should be. Why water the plants when you can dig underneath them?
Yeah.
Have you been catching any of these committee hearings on the Trump assassination stuff?
Just like clips, but it is shocking to see the lack of answers any of these people have. Like, I mean, I know Rob always barks at us for being conspiracy theorists. This is not helping.
They are really not helping their cause at all.
No, especially when there's like videos coming out every day. Like I saw one today. You can clearly see this guy running along the roof. Like, even if you didn't see him because he's not still, he's visibly running on the roof that you're supposed to be watching.
The sloped roof that was going to be too dangerous for those snipers.
For those army trained,
highly trained
snipers
that are trained to set up and shoot from difficult positions, much more difficult than that.
I mean, I've watched a bunch of army movies and they're doing the obstacle course. I thought the first thing was the climb things. Isn't that one of the first things?
Right. Well, I also like how there was that one old fat dude in Utah that was talking a bunch of shit on the internet, and the FBI murdered him in his house at dawn. You're like, okay, so you knew about that guy, but you couldn't stop the 25 or 20-year-old nerd that somehow breached your perimeter with a ladder and a rifle and a rangefinder.
And
wait, you knew about him. Turns out you knew about him beforehand.
I love the whole, it's almost like they're muddying the waters.
Yeah.
Like with his political, what he's registered as. And then he donates to these blue causes. But like, you're a prime example. Didn't you vote in Democrat? You were registered Democrat, right? And then you voted like, poof, what? They can't do that.
I was registered Democrat all right up until RFK dropped out and went independent. And I was like, well, fuck. I voted for Trump in the primary, which was like, it was a caucus, but like not really. I mean, I don't know. It was weird.
And then they threw out that he had some social media profile a while ago that said he was anti-immigration and anti-something. And you're like, then why, if that's true, why is he shooting Trump? Why is he shooting at Trump?
Well, so I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I haven't followed up to check on any of what he said, but he was talking about the FBI director in his opening statement mentioned how this kid was anti-immigration or whatever on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And according to this guy that I was listening to, that was like some of his earliest posts, but his most recent posts were like anti-Trump, like far lefty progressive type posts, but they just conveniently left that out in their opening statement.
You're thinking as you get older doesn't change ever.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt.
No. And it seems like maybe this was kind of just allowed to happen. It's I don't want to toss it out there, but it's either that or our Secret Service
incompetence
is just so incompetent that is truly terrifying as a possibility that they are that incompetent.
There's no in the middle. There's no gray. It's either or one of those. One of those.
Well, and like on that note, like the world's melting down around us, and we've got our finger in every single one of them pots. And so you're like, all right, so let's say shit kicks off in Ukraine for real, like NATO gets involved for real. Well, there's a full fucking ocean between us and Ukraine that if we're gonna go all in, that we've got to get men, fuel, equipment, planes, tanks, all that shit. We've got to get across the Atlantic over there with retards running the show. Like I just, it seems like a bad time to be getting involved in a bunch of overseas shit when I'm not sure who's running the show over here.
And then Hezbollah pops some civilians. And you know what? I know your feelings on the Israel stuff, but I'm sorry. Yep. You do that to us, we're going to take out your leader.
Yeah.
Hezbollah, you fucked around.
Yeah, that whole deal. And once again, I'm not anti-Israel on this. I'm just saying that they seem to have a way of dragging us into never-ending Middle Eastern wars.
Matt's a self-loathing Jew.
I am a self-loathing Jew. But you're looking at it so far. Aside from the Gaza stuff, Israel has the West Bank to deal with, which has been kind of popping off a little bit. Nothing compared to the Gaza stuff. Then you've got the whole Syrian border shit, the Golan Heights. They just assassinated an Iranian dude at their embassy in Syria, which is pretty big boy move, honestly. Yeah. It's a pretty big boy move.
Whoa, is Trump running Israel right now?
Right. Not even Trump didn't even take him out at the embassy. He at least let him get into the war zone before he took him out.
Wanted to set the tone.
Yeah. Israel bombs the fucking embassy, and we're like, maybe shouldn't have done that. That seems like that's gonna stir up some shit.
Whoops.
Then they take out the Hezbollah dude in Beirut, which is the capital city of Lebanon. And you're like, that seems like pretty baller move too. I hope you're ready to stand behind that one, because that seems like it might stir up some shit. And then they take out the dude in Tehran, and you're just like, you guys might be biting off a little bit more than you can chew, man.
Get real ballsy. Ballsy.
It's one of those, you guys are having a hell of a time in Gaza, and you're pissing off everybody around you as well. I'm pretty sure they hit Yemen as well. Not that Yemen's going to do a lot to them, but they've shown that they actually can hit Israel. And once again, I'm not anti-Israel. It just seems like you guys are you're walking a little bit taller than you should be. you're getting a little too confident, it seems like.
Well, on that note, we should watch some supporters of our next president.
Okay. Is this the white dudes for Harris?
Yes.
Okay. Let me pop it up on the screen here. We might have to scroll around and see what fits our fancy, but
I hear the John Gad one. Adam Schiff is on there too.
Nice.
What was another clip that I saw? I was like, Jesus H. Growth hair.
All right, we're gonna go.
How about do the introduction? Let's see.
And then we'll skip around.
Yes.
Look at this guy.
Hello. Welcome.
Can you imagine the opposite response of white dudes?
You are on.
Yeah, that people might have a problem with that.
Yeah.
White dudes for Harris Zoom call that we've been pushing out. I want to.
How many of these guys talk like this? Got a little bit of a lisp.
And also too, it's so funny that they've been doing a bunch of these town halls. Like they had black women for Harris, everybody, but yet in typical white male fashion, they're taking up the show.
Well, I mean,
They're taking up all the
if
oxygen.
history has shown anything, is that white men will do it better. So what? Might as well. Might as well.
At least more entertaining.
Yeah.
Start by saying, just thank you so much for being here. Before we launch into everything, I've got a couple of quick housekeeping things for folks. If you RSVP'd for the call, there's an email in your inbox that tells you how to join. Please forward to any friends that you know who might have also signed up. We know there was
we should have signed up.
We should have signed Tim up.
Oh, that would have won the contest.
It would have.
Right there.
But also, yes, we should have signed up too.
You know what? And if they do another one, we sign them up.
And ask questions that are just subtly digging at how stupid these lefties are. but phrase it like it's a legitimate question,
It's like that South Park. Remember the free hat episode?
Yeah.
And they got involved. They're doing trying to take films back from directors, and they were accidentally trying to get a convicted child murderer, baby killer, off death row.
I'll sign up for 10 questions, and every one of them is just asking them to clarify the meaning of the word queer.
You could ask, what exactly is the benefit of baby murder? It's easy.
We're just like, so clarification. If I call my longtime homosexual friend a queer in jest, does that make me a bigot?
It's like ask a gay dude on Chappelle's show.
Yeah. It's like, now he is not a homosexual. He's a heterosexual man. But if I call him a queer as a term of reverence, does that make me a bigot? I'm genuinely amazed at how queer he is. How do I phrase that?
Or you could bring up any situation between you and Zach.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I feel like this is Zach's gayer cousin on the screen here.
A little bit of confusion about this before, so we just want to make sure everybody gets it. I also know that a bunch of folks might not have seen the email, so if you can also tweet, text, send along a Facebook link.
Starting off like an HR
URL
meeting.
For this is whitedudesforharris.com.
A lot of donations.
Again, that's whitedudesforharris.com. We just want to make sure everyone has a chance to tune in. This has really, truly been a really humbling experience.
Humbling.
For me, especially when we first started thinking about doing this, which was actually Tuesday night. Our initial goal was going to be 10,000 RSVPs and about $500,000.
They're at 1.169 million.
Jesus.
Yeah. They just raised the goal to 1.2, and they're going to hit that in the next minute, I would imagine.
Now we're at about 140,000 people who have RSVP'd for this. And we're at over $1 million in donations.
All right, skip over Man Bun.
The Harris for President campaign.
Let's see.
The way that our economy has changed over the years has left a lot. And with that sort of opener, I'm really, really honored to introduce our first speaker. Someone who has been a friend and collaborator over
They're at
the years,
1.572 million.
I have an immense amount of respect. He has so much
the internet's great, but oh my God.
Minutes in.
The internet just degraded society.
Yeah. Like, I love it and hate it all at the same time.
Right.
Like, and I hate myself, like, doom scrolling through Instagram. You're like, I could be researching some really interesting, helpful stuff, but instead I'm sharing some really fucked up memes to my buddies, which I like that. I love that a lot, actually.
All we do is Google soaking. and
Yeah.
butt babies and Sibians.
I wonder if soaking porn is a hot category on the Pornhub.
Would they just sit there or what?
I mean, you'd have to get real creative with the cinematography, I'd think. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little bland.
Add like special effects.
You just zoom in on the bed shaker's face as he's shaking that thing.
Just with the creepiest smile you ever seen.
Did I send you that one meme was like when you pull up next to me at a stoplight and like it shows a guy's like turns his music down and he looks over and like makes eye contact with the guy next to him. Looks back, looks at him again, and then he like does a double take and the guy next to him is just like yanking it real hard, making these really fucked up faces. It's like a 1.5-minute skit. It's really funny.
No, I have not.
And then
see that.
You know, the original guy, he's like, no, stop it. And he's waiting for the light to turn green. Finally turns green, and he's like, yes, and he punches it, hauls ass, and he looks in the rearview mirror, and the dude's in the back seat still yanking it, and then he crashes into a tree.
No, send me that one.
It was fun. I'll see if I can find it again. Let's see who they got up.
I'd like to introduce Maurice Mitchell, who's the director of the Working Families Party, to give us a little bit of a different perspective on why it's so important for us to be organizing. Maurice, kick it off.
Thank you.
Hold on. That's not a white dude. I feel gypped. I feel absolutely gypped. I was under the impression this was white dudes only. I mean, he already made this cooler, but I'm just saying it is not on brand.
False advertisement.
It is false advertising. Maurice Morris is not a white guy.
Thank you so much, Ross. And good evening. I'm Maurice Mitchell. I'm the National Director of the Working Families Party. It is a true pleasure to be with all of you tonight. And I'm calling you from the Mets game because...
Like, it's a car and then they're all in their house. I guess that's Zoom. I forgot about
Did you
COVID.
see the video of the dude that he was calling into his court date for a suspended... Yeah.
Yes.
And it was for a suspended license. Mm-hmm. And he was like, hold on, Judge, just let me park this thing.
Fucking legend.
It's so funny. All right, I don't
see if you can get a celebrity or
wait.
This bummed me out. I didn't hear anything, but
Jeff Bridges.
Oh, Jeff.
Oh, it's Jeff Bridges. Of course, Boomer's on mute.
I can't hear.
Unmute am I there? I can't hear myself, but that's okay.
We can hear you.
Oh yeah, okay, great. Okay,
Holy
good.
shit.
So great to be here, Ross. I gotta laugh because I accepted the invitation. You know, I was brought to the party not so much as being white, and I certainly am, but because I'm a dude, you know. So a friend sent me this email today.
I'm just here.
With your
You know what?
hat
Somebody
on
just
there. And I
sent
said,
him this
I
link.
gotta have one of
Not
those. I
telling
qualify.
him anything.
Man. I'm white. I'm a dude. And
Or even if he is donating a bunch of money to Kamala Harris, which I think is dumb, I still can't help but love Jeff Bridges.
You know, he was like, I don't know if I want to get involved. How about I just do some money? No. Go on the Zoom. You won't have to say anything. You can be in your garage. You're cool.
White dude. And he's like, I am the dude.
And I'm for Harris. So wonderful to be here. And I dug what you said, Maurice. That's really, terrific. The fact that you're here, you're a black man here with us white guys. I had no idea that this whole thing.
Didn't know there was going to be a black guy here.
Based on what? Black women for Harris, right? And so it kind of morphed.
You know what? He's doing a total Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
He's just going over what's going on and what and just things around it. Explaining
he's meandering a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
White dudes for Harris. And I'm excited, man. I think, the fact that Joe has passed the baton so beautifully.
So beautifully. Kicking and screaming,
I mean, he's not wrong. It was a beautiful display of shit show. It was beautiful for comedy. Terrifying for a world superpower. But I guess that's one way to put it, Jeff, is he beautifully passed that baton.
Kamala is just so certainly our girl, I can see her being president. I'm so excited. A woman president, man. How exciting. And her championing of women's rights.
This is making me depressed.
And for all her stance on the environment.
They're almost to 2 million. Huh.
And
dynamite commentary.
And taking care of our children. All of her leadership on that is wonderful and something that I can get behind and support. Thank you, Ross.
Wait,
former mayor of South Bend, Indiana. You can thank him for making it so the airlines have to refund your money after they mess up.
I really like how this is one of their strong policy issues is Biden's trying to get rid of all these, fees, like with tickets and fees with airlines. This is what we need.
Right. Well, it'd be nice if the airlines just worked. Like that was kind of a big issue with Mayor Pete and his whole stint, which he's still secretary or transportation secretary. Like a lot of shit's happened on your watch, Pete, and it hasn't been all that great. So why do people still listen to this guy? I don't understand it.
P, one of the brightest stars in the Democratic Party.
Brightest
We've got
star.
Pete Buttigieg with us.
Hey, thanks so much. I'm really excited to be with you all and to address
That's
this
Rob's boy.
convening of dudes.
He looks like a woodchuck.
He looks like a Looney Tunes character.
I think he's a literal robot. I don't think he's gay at all. I think he's just I don't know if that he's human.
He's a lizard person.
Definitely one of the honors of.
He's gonna lick his eyeball.
I'll be brief, but look, I'm a policy guy. I've never been totally comfortable with the truth that no matter how much you believe in the policies, so much of politics is just vibes. Having said that, the vibes right now are incredible.
Vibes are incredible, man.
Over the weekend and stopped by a canvas kickoff in Michigan at the Traverse City field office close to our house. I haven't seen that kind
Hold
of
on, he says something real.
Democrats in Michigan.
He goes
since
on
I
something
was
with
campaigning.
abortion.
Oh, okay, because that's the guy you want talking about abortion. A gay white man.
White dude.
White dude. Yeah, right. White dudes for Harris.
In the midterms for leaders like Gretchen Whitmer, and we all know how that turned out.
Now, I don't want to subscribe to this channel because I don't want a bunch of junk, but I also wouldn't mind seeing what pops up from them throughout the rest of the campaign. We only got 90 days or so before this shit finally. Well, it's not going to end. Like, I don't know about you, but I also have no faith that like the campaign season ends on election day. I think it'll stretch probably till January.
Campaign season has been stretched out since 2004.
Yeah. We've just gone from one 4-year campaign cycle to the next 4-year campaign cycle.
Yeah.
But I don't think. Well, I mean, if 2020 was any indicator, we're not going to know for sure, maybe ever, who actually won. Fuck, man.
Allegedly.
I thought Trump was crazy as shit in that stretch between Election Day 2020 and when he stepped down from office. I thought he did some crazy shit. I don't know whether any of it was illegal, but I do know that you cannot prosecute a guy for inciting a mob to violence when he told them to go peacefully. I know legally that's not going to stand. So I know that part, but then you look at that whole situation, you're like, oh, it looks like the feds maybe kicked that whole shit off. Oh,
Matt, you're a conspiracist.
Right.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
So now I'm just like, maybe we should look into those voting machines. I don't know. It seems like a lot of shit that was supposed to be crazy conspiracy talk just a little while ago is now turned out to be true. And you're like, I don't know. Maybe there were a bunch of forged ballots. I don't know. Like,
that's
who the fucking knows now?
That's what trips me out about Rob. He calls us conspiracy theorists, but like, we brought up some of these points and they kind of turn out true later.
Yeah.
Like what? And you don't have to believe them, but at least say like, I can see what you're looking at. I can see what you mean.
Right. I won't go into any of the medical stuff because I had another video from like 3 years ago pulled down for medical misinformation. None of it was misinformation, by the way.
You know what? You know what happened? It's the COVID effect. Like everybody just forgot. They probably forgot to switch off, banning COVID shit. Nobody's gone back to,
Oh no, they're going back to it. They're ramping up they're just putting all the filters back in place that they had for the 2020 election. It's
motherfucker remix.
It's pretty obvious too. Like you can see all your traffic and stuff. And there for a while I was getting like not a lot of traffic, but doing okay. And then just nothing. Like post a video, it'll get like 8 views. That's it. I've got almost 1,200 followers on YouTube and gets 8 views.
Dude, you're a detriment to society because you're just passing around
menace to society. I'm blacker than Kamala Harris when it comes to menace to society. It's funny. I didn't think there would ever be a whiter black president than Barack Obama, but Kamala might be it. She might be the whitest black president of all time. And that includes the first black president, Bill Clinton.
Condoleezza Rice would have swept the floor with her.
She's pretty damn white. She's
so white that she's the head of the SEC football.
Yeah.
Or is it NCAA?
NCAA. You think Kamala's going to be the eventual candidate on the ballot?
You know what? I would say yes,
time.
But I've seen crazier shit.
There's still time.
And you know what? Again, it's hard to decipher what the bullshit is not. Of course, you see online where they talk about that the party's not thrilled with Kamala Harris and they're like shopping around. Who knows if it's true?
We were talking about this before we went live. I'm gonna take Mayor Pete down for a minute.
Thank you. Great. Rob can't jerk off to the podcast now because Pete's now.
Well, if we put Marjorie Taylor Greene up there, he's just gonna blow his load all over the place. He really does want his head to be squished like a grape between those thighs.
Oh, he wants a YouTube channel. He wants an Instagram account where it's just him and his partner MTG, and she's just punishing him.
Well, and say what you will about Large Marge, but that bitch gets it. When she's CrossFitting and shit, she gets it. I mean, she gets after it. So those thighs are nothing to mess with.
I mean, if she could squash that giant head, those are the strongest thighs on planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna have to open real wide because that's a big old melon.
I always love how fucking Rob, when he played football, they had to order him an extra large helmet, and he's not a 300-pound lineman.
He was a small high school defensive end.
Yeah. He's just a fucking bobblehead.
I was talking to a buddy of mine that I grew up with the other day. We did a podcast and he went on to play college basketball. He probably could have played college baseball too. Really a good athlete. And we were kind of talking about the glory days of, like Little League baseball and stuff, because we grew up from little bitty playing baseball together. And I was like, I was a pretty okay high school baseball player. That was the peak of my athletic career. It's like I was a pretty okay high school baseball player. You
weren't no tater salad.
No, like I wasn't gonna make the all-state team, but I played on varsity as a freshman. Granted, it was a 2A school, it was a small school, but still, I played varsity as a freshman, and we had a pretty good team. So like I just, all in all, I was a pretty okay high school baseball player. But that was the peak of my athletic ability.
Glory days.
Yeah, I'm trying to view this whole election cycle through like the lens of conventional politics as we've known it since, let's say, 2004. That's when we started college. And from like a strategic view, it is Donald Trump they're running against. One of the most hated men on earth, but also, I would say, easily the most famous man on earth for the last 10 years. So you're going against this juggernaut it doesn't make sense why he wins a lot of times, but also it makes perfect sense because our whole political system's fucked up. But from a conventional sense, it feels like this is like a trade deadline fire sale for the Democrat Party. They got Joe out of there because people like finally realized that, this guy is moments away from death at any point. And so maybe we ought to get him out of there. Not the presidency, by the way. Just make sure he can't run again. And then they're like going, it seems to be that they're going full steam ahead with Kamala Coconuts. And part of me thinks they should throw Mayor Pete on as VP and just get them both out of the way for 2020.
They're in a rebuild.
Right. This is a rebuild year. But also, I don't have much faith in people anymore either. So like they might actually elect that bitch to be president as we're getting ready to head into possibly a 4-front war between Ukraine, Taiwan, the Middle East, and now Venezuela's popping off.
I know Trump people have issues with him, and rightfully so, but it amazes me that he's the most hated person on planet Earth. And then you have people like Xi in China who are literally enslaving fucking Uyghur Muslims. Like for real, this is the most hated man, and you got all these other dictators and all these other non-tolerant people around the world. This is the man that's most hated.
Well, it's what gets me about the foreign policy shit too, because like I don't think Vladimir Putin should have invaded Ukraine. I was on record saying I didn't think he would.
Rob didn't hear it.
However, like it's real fucking ironic that we lecture him about national sovereignty when the Iraqi parliament, shortly before Putin invaded, the Iraqi parliament voted unanimously for us to get the fuck out. And we were just like, nah, we're good. We're good, bro. And just like, I thought we were supposed to have the moral high ground. Isn't that kind of like where our starting point is the moral high ground? Isn't that what America's supposed to be? Like we seeded that a long time ago, man. Like what? Quit trying to put up that whole moral high ground as an argument to get us involved into another shit show. That like I was the thing that scares me about Ukraine is let's say it doesn't come to a nuclear exchange, which that's a big if. Realistically, maybe we can push Russia back to their borders, but
that's going to be a long fight.
Long fight, and then once we get them there, you got to deal with ethnic Russian insurgents in eastern Ukraine, which is what they've been dealing with since 2014, by the way. That war's been going on a lot longer than 2022 when Russia invaded for real. We got that. We got China, who's looking like they're probably going to take Taiwan at some point.
I would have thought they would have popped off before this presidential election.
Maybe. There's time.
Do they do it during the election?
Maybe. Oh, and the point I was making about Ukraine, but let's just say that we get involved and we push Russia back to the original borders. There's still that whole Ukraine issue. We're not taking Ukraine without a huge Crimea. We're not taking Crimea without a huge fucking fight. But either way, that's not going to be a short deal. Vietnam lasted almost 20 years, and we got nothing to show for that. Afghanistan lasted 20 years. Nothing to show for that. Iraq technically has been more than 20 years. I'm not real for sure what the fuck we're doing over there still. we're there. I'm not sure what we're doing. But these things don't just unwind very quickly. So we get involved in that, like with actual legit boots on the ground in Ukraine. Who knows how long we're going to be there? Like that seems like no end in sight type of deal. Taiwan, you're going up against China, who has 1.5 billion people. That's not a fight you really want to pick, I wouldn't think. Middle East, we've seen how that's gone for the last 40 fucking years. That's not great. Probably don't want to get further involved in there. And then South America, which makes the most sense compared to where we're at. I don't even know what the fuck's going on in Venezuela, but apparently shit's about to pop off there too. And you're
some election meddling.
Yeah, look, maybe. Who knows? Who the fuck knows?
The people who run the election are loyal to Maduro, so
right. Well,
nothing to see there.
It also seems like there's a lot of Venezuelans flooding across the border here as of recent years. Seems like maybe we should pay more attention to that since it's far closer than the rest of them.
Well, since the White Dudes for Harris was a dud, I feel like that just depressed me more. You should pull up Trump at the Black Journalist
all right.
Seminar that came up. Yeah, if you want to, there's a bunch of clips out there of just whiny dudes just sharing feelings.
It sounds terrible, but National Association of Black Journalists.
This starts off hot.
Nice.
Starts off. Trump just goes boomer, man.
Gotta love a good. It'd been better if he would have came out to Many Men by 50 Cent. But I don't know why he's not doing that.
I don't either.
Like usually Trump's pretty hip on shit like that. You think he would have glommed onto it, but
and
he may not be able to afford 50 anymore.
And the artist wouldn't sue him for using it.
Right, like
they only won if it's not a country song.
50 Cent has already posted a picture of one of his album covers with Donald Trump's head superimposed on it. And yeah, so I don't know why he's not running with that. I mean, that's a fucking layup right there. Like that is the lowest hanging fruit, and he's not taking advantage of it. It would kill with a lot of different crowds.
It's either got to be him saying no, we're going to keep it classy, or his staff,
or he just keeps rolling out Lee Greenwood. I'm proud to be an American. Oh, I watched the Trump speech at the RNC, and watching Lee Greenwood sing "Proud to be an American" just reminded me of like these concerts that we used to have at my church growing up. So like one of I forget her name. It was Susie. It was Reba McEntire's sister. Looked exactly like her. They might have been. I don't know if they were twins or not. That might be going too far. But
Susie McEntire.
No, it's not. Luxinger, Susie Luxinger.
Got it.
But she looked exactly like Reba. Had a really good voice. But she like made the church circuit. Like that was she wasn't playing arenas. She was playing small town Assembly of God churches. And
hot.
Well, she did look hot, I will say that. But though Lee Greenwood singing "Proud to be American" had the same vibe as a Susie Luxinger concert when I was 13.
Inspirational.
It's kind of like when you go into one of the old Vegas casinos where it's nostalgic, but not in a great way.
like you can remember when you heard it, and you know exactly what your face looked like.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just a little bit awkward.
And of course, Harris Faulkner is there too, and she's just in the bag for Trump all the way.
Oh,
like, you can't call her a journalist.
Welcome to the 49th Annual National Association
of Black Journalists. That's a full hour of just like smooth jazz to open it.
Is it because they had to cut it short because Trump
with former President Donald Trump?
Maybe, I don't know.
We ask that the professionalism that we all bring to our newsrooms and workplaces every day is the same professionalism that is maintained in this arena.
That's not going to happen.
Please welcome to the stage ABC News.
I wanted to drop an N-word, but not out of racism. I was wanting to make an impression of a black guy like you. Y'all stay quiet for this cracker. Let him speak.
Let the cracker speak. It's like, remember that Chappelle for the racial Olympics?
Yeah.
As soon as Donald Trump walks in, just listen closely. I bet you can hear somebody go, "Cracker."
Y'all motherfuckers quiet down. Let a man speak.
Senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott. Semaphore political reporter Kadia Goba.
I bet Harris Faulkner gets no ovation.
And anchor of the Faulkner Focus and co-host of Outnumbered on Fox News, Harris Faulkner.
And she's a Trump lady.
Oh man, she's in the bag for him, dude. Big time.
I don't know her.
She's on Fox
Good
News.
afternoon,
She's
NABJ,
on
and welcome to a conversation with former President Donald Trump. This discussion continues a decades-long tradition during election years of inviting journalists to discuss the policies and their impact with the candidates who are running for president, and the impact of those policies, especially in Black communities. Former Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton have attended the NABJ conventions either as presidents or as presidential candidates in past years.
What about Biden?
NABJ is currently in conversation with Vice President Kamala Harris's team to schedule a Q&A either in person or virtually in September. As journalists, we use opportunities like these both to inform our reporting, but also to help voters understand the choices that they face in a consequential and historic election year. NABJ has partnered with PolitiFact to fact-check this conversation in real time. You can access that feed on social media, calling them a loser, saying a lot of people did not. Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying
Trump's just like, yep, remember that one. Remember that one.
Check.
That was a good one. Big applause. Crowd really loved it.
And
don't forget, I told them to pick up their welfare check on Friday.
And the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort.
So my question, sir,
I'm just bringing the heat right off the get-go.
Supporters to vote for you. Why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
All right, so this is a real test of a white man political candidate, because Black women are fierce and they're intimidating. So we'll see what the response is here. Like I could hold my own in most crowds, but yeah, I feel like Black women would make me look like a bitch.
You'd piss your pants.
A little bit. I think they would wreck my shit.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network. It's terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the Black population of this country. I've done so much for the Black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for Black workers.
I don't know why you don't love me.
I've done so much, and and I say
tried so hard.
Historically, Black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
I
think it's a very nasty question. I have answered the question. I have been the best president for the Black
boomer.
population
he complained about it not
since
starting
Abraham Lincoln.
You can tell he hangs around a lot of old Jewish guys too. Just the way he complains about shit. It's like an old boomer New York Jew.
This chair isn't comfy. I said I wanted it warm in here. It's quite cold. I don't know
how you're really setting off my sinuses. My sinuses are acting up like you wouldn't believe.
It's dry in here. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah. I always said, if you're 5 minutes early, you're late. Moving on.
He's like Jimmy Hoffa. If it's 10 minutes, he's out.
Yeah.
Better than
President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner.
You can't give black people a hard time for being late. That's a thing. It's called colored people time, or yeah, that's what I think. That's what they call it. Is colored people time. They're late. That they run late naturally. You can't. That's where you fucked up, Trump. You can't give them a hard time about it.
I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable?
If I labeled myself as like the first Mexican such and such, like that's stolen valor. I have the genetic makeup to be half Mexican with the zero of the culture. So like I can't claim Mexican heritage because like I have Mexican DNA and no heritage. I'm a white boy when it comes. Like I mark white on the census because I'm a white boy.
You are a white boy.
Come on, like black. Okay, she's got the skin tone, but that bitch is white. Asian, come on, that bitch is white. This is coming from a fellow person of color. Like you can't claim that. Come on, you're white. You're white.
Language to you. And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
definition
definition then. Would you give me a definition of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me if you will.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So. I've known her a long time indirectly.
Didn't Joe Biden at some point say his vice president had to be a woman?
Yeah, well, it started as he was for sure going to pick a woman, and then for sure it was a woman of color. He boxed himself in. And by the way, this lady called Biden a racist on the debate stage in the same campaign season in which she later became his vice president.
Yeah, J.D. Vance only turned around in a year. She turned around in a couple months.
Yeah, it was. But also, I'm pretty sure he was bragging about picking Kamala in one clip, and even said because of how big on DEI they are. I don't know, man.
Thank
you very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know. Is she Indian?
She happened to turn black.
Oh, fucking John, man. Okay. He's dying up here, man.
I'm for 100% clipping that to put on the soundboard. She turned black.
Or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black
I
woman. She went
respect
to a historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one.
I'm
but she
surprised you
obviously
didn't get
doesn't,
shot at this.
because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became
Indian all the way.
Just to be clear, sir, do
It's
you
a
believe
long way
that
from
she-
that
somebody
white
should
Iowa.
look into that too when you ask
A
continue
long
in a
way
very
from that white
hostile.
Iowa rally, ain't it?
It's such a classic boomer explaining, try to explain race. So funny. I didn't know she was Indian until like right before she was named VP. I always thought she was just a black, standard black lady. It turns out she's Jamaican and Indian. I don't know, but apparently Trump thought she was Asian until she wasn't. I don't know. It's
you know how we were talking about that cringe face in church?
Yeah,
I'm getting it right now.
He'll get called a racist for this, but he's being accidentally racist. He's not trying to be racist.
He's full on boomer, man.
Yeah. He's just stepping in it. Like, I get what he's trying to say. I don't know if he's racist or not. I don't think he's trying to be racist with this at all.
He's old mansplaining. He's old mansplaining.
Old white mansplaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just stepping all over himself. But the beauty of Donald Trump is he just keeps moving forward. he ain't gonna let those stepping on his own tongue. He's not gonna let that stop him. Fuck no. Moving forward.
Nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
really don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that.
Well, you told me.
Yeah, he's got to point to his friend.
So we had a good
See,
discussion.
I got a black friend.
Look, I want to talk about why you're
That's
here
exactly
today.
what he's
I
doing.
mean, it is not lost on us how divided we are as a country. And as you were coming today, we really got to see that we are.
Literally, isn't that the best way to show that you're not racist? Like, I do have a black friend. I literally have a black friend.
I mean, she's in the category of Condoleezza Rice.
Okay, fair enough. But if they're gonna call Kamala Harris black, then she gets the black card too.
She does too.
I mean, let's equal the playing field here. Like, if Kamala Harris gets to be black, I get to be Mexican and Jewish, by the way. and then that lady also gets to be black.
Dude, that was the best thing to come out of your genealogy.
It really was. I laughed so hard when I saw that.
I'm fucking jealous.
It made me so happy. It was like I get so much leeway with my jokes now. I get so much leeway.
You're divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell
so many
you
caveats.
Coming from the border are
a lot of these journalists in this room are black. Most of them, right?
Yeah, like pretty much all of them.
From the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. A lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming
those people like
from the border
they
are
got the
millions
joke.
and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And
Mr. President,
they're taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17.
See, this is where Trump is good, where he doesn't get, he doesn't allow them to knock him off track. He's just like, nope, I'm forging ahead. I'm going to make this fucking point.
This train ain't fucking stopping.
Yeah. And no, I like that because, she's trying to redirect him because he's going off tangent. And, they got their script that they got to follow. And it's they don't like it when he goes off script. And he's like, nope, fuck you. I'm saying this point. A lot of you are black in here.
Million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once.
Can I tell you how disappointed I am in America that we're arguing over whether or not Kamala Harris is it Kamala or Kamala? Kamala? How do you pronounce it?
Kamala.
Drew Barrymore called her Mamala. So
oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen any clips from Drew Barrymore's talk show?
Yes.
It's something else, ain't it?
She's just happy to be there, Matt. She's just happy to be there.
She is something. I don't even know where I was going with this point, but
you pulled a Trump.
I did pull a Trump. What was I talking about?
I don't know.
Damn it, we're getting old.
We're about to go full boomer.
Not the right part of the border. So she was a border.
What was he saying? Because
away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history.
I'm so just disappointed in America that the argument is about whether or not Kamala was the border czar and not the fact that we have a position in the United States federal government that we call a czar. I thought we didn't do kings. We didn't do monarchy. But we have a position called a czar. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Pisses me off. Also, what do you think Trump's goes through his head before he goes out to speak? Wow, a lot of black people out there.
Mostly black.
Mostly black. Terrific people. Even the blacks.
Hey, Harris, my friend Harris is down there. I'm cool.
The world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job.
Well, is she going to go into Mexico?
Are coming into our country and they're taking black.
Well, no, she looked at it as she flew over on her way to Guatemala, right?
That's right.
And then she said, "Do not come. Do not come.
Don't.
Better not.
Don't.
Better not."
This is the gun I used to use when I was a prostitute.
I said, you better not. Better not.
Better not.
Hispanic jobs. And frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly
affected. Oh, he's hitting all those
all of the
black,
of
Hispanic unions.
And one thing,
I will say that it's pretty significant that the head of the Teamsters spoke at the RNC. Like that's
pretty significant.
That's pretty significant. And I believe he said he's going to withhold endorsement this cycle. So
yeah, because the most pro-union candidate isn't running.
Right.
Yeah.
We got Top Cop running. She's going to prosecute this case. I feel like we need that like courtroom drama, like bam, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Bird Law 2024. Oh, I could make that t-shirt. Just put a black and white silhouette of mostly black, obviously. Mostly black. But do a black and white silhouette of Kamala Harris, and then just over it just says Bird Law 24.
Oh man, I'm fading, bud.
All right, well, yeah, for I feel like we need a full day to sit and talk about the events over the last couple of weeks. Like it's been insane.
We're in a Stephen King novel. It's like an 800-page story, and we're fucking halfway through here.
Well, it's just like all the shit that happens. You're just like, oh, come on, this is hack shit for a thriller novel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's real, and you're just like, huh?
It's terrifyingly real,
right? And you're just like, at the end of the day, I just think, God damn it, it's a good thing that there is an ocean on either side of us.
Right.
You know, that is our location. It is a good goddamn thing. We've got an ocean on either side of the United States of America.
Guns and location.
Yep. It's a real fucking good thing. So anyways, y'all have a good week. This has been Death of Fun. I even got the song queued up this week. Boom.
God. You didn't boomer it up. Good for you.
No,
man.
I got her.
I got beer in my boots, dirt on my truck, corn on my mind. I got beer in my boots. It's a small town. At least there's dirt, at least there's beer and trucks and shirts.
Beer in boots.
White dudes, Harris.
White dudes. We're black ladies. I think she's black, maybe Asian, not real for sure.
Mostly.
I just don't want to be called a racist.
Fucking racist.
I don't even care if I'm racist anymore. I just find shit funny and I say it. Who's gonna be the Veep for Kamala Harris?
A governor?
Yeah. I think if they're actually trying to win, Mark Kelly makes more sense from Arizona, but when you look at there's already a Senate seat open or up for grabs in Arizona this year, and then Mark Kelly's seat comes up in 28, I believe, or might be 26. So
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, I'd vote for Jimmy Carter. Did you? I sent you guys that one where a guy just tweeted a picture of Jimmy Carter. I think it was from his wife's funeral, and he kind of looked like a bug.
He looked like Stephen Hawking towards the end.
And it just said tanned, rested, ready. He still had that red shirt year, you know. Not really a red shirt year. He just got kicked out of office, but he's still got eligibility left.
Still a solid choice. He's the Brandon Whedon of politics. Just like 5 years of red shirt.
I wonder if anyone's made that Carter 24, and I could make that.
All right, buddy. I'm out.
All right. See you, buddy.
Later.
Guns in butts, big red cups, dirty boots, dirty beer. Dirty butts, let's all cheer.